And elections are always tense moments in the history of this country, unlike most parts of Africa. But we've gone through quite a lot of democratic elections conducted by the same Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone, and that is the duty that you have assumed, respectively in different regions. So this is a very huge moment for you. We hope that you'll be able to stand up to the test of time. You can rest assured that you have my full support and that of the government to give you the wherewithal to be able to go through this exercise successfully.
President Bill end up say government will continue for support the Electoral Commission of Salone for say they're able to hold free, fair and peaceful election, and say the law will bet anybody we want for cause violence during, before and after the election. As always they be, the President Julius Maada Bio encourage Commonwealth country them for work tranga one for overcome the thing them where they affect the country them like the COVID-19, Russia and Ukraine war and other thing them for make them go able for achieve the sustainable development goal and promote the good thing them where the Commonwealth team up for. President Bio talk this way in they raise the Commonwealth peace flag na state house as way for celebrate the Commonwealth Day when I'm on the March 13 this year with the theme forging a sustainable and peaceful common future. Where this day, Commonwealth members can use them for support the promotion of peace, prosperity, and sustainability by way how they go give better future to young people and improve the life of all the Commonwealth citizens. Them. President Biosemo say, Salone they celebrate this day by way how they raise the flag for demonstrate collective effort for commit to the peace for take the Commonwealth Charter, where they be done signed for over 10 years now. President Julius Maada Bio say, Salone will continue for maintain the country in peace and democracy. And say, then go do all the things the way the country be done sign to na the Commonwealth for say, citizens enjoy peace na the country. For Radio Democracy, Kabia the report.
The program is still listening to now Good Morning Salone. We can you from 98.1 FM. Inside the program, we continue for look at more issues. We go beside as the flag bearer and leader for the All People's Congress APC party, Dr. Samura Kamara, announced Honorable Cherno Majuba as in running mate for the June 24, 2023 election. He said this now for ensure they work together for win the next election. For more on this, we join Mangi Mansari.
'18, 19, and 20. Now the day where the All People's Congress be all the National Delegates Conference na Makeni, beside them been pick Dr. Samura Kamara as the flag bearer na the APC. We make plenty people don't they show interest for being running mates to Dr. Samura Kamara when a 5 women and 6 man them we been taking the number to 11 people them. Where they show interest for the running mate. Monday, March 13 this year, the flag bearer and leader na the APC, Dr. Samura Kamara, being picked Honorable Cherno Ramadan Majuba, where people they call Cherry Coco, as in running mates, where they go contest the June 24, 2023 elections. Fambulenki members say the Monday pronouncement where Dr. Samura Kamara be make, which I been pronounced Honorable Cherry Coco as in running mates, make her now the second term where Dr. Samura Kamara and Cherry Coco they be flag bearer and running mate. The first term where Dr. Samura Kamara be run with Cherry Coco as in running mates now the 2018 election, but they not been win the election and it don't pick him for the second term as in running mate for contest the June 24, 2023 election. This na the pronouncement where Dr. Samura Kamara be make na the APC party office.
In the year 2023, I submitted my nomination of my running mate to the National Advisory Committee as declared by our 2022 party constitution. I am pleased to announce that tonight I call unanimously considered and endorsed my nomination on the Honorable
After where Dr. Samuel Kamara may not pick Honorable Cherno Majuba as in one mate, I've been talked to different APC member and supporter them. But what in them think about Cherry Coco in one mate one? Now this them get for see.
Me na Honorable Ibrahim Aziz Bangura, we represent constituency 076 at the Kafubulum Chiefdom, Utloko District, Lungitrip. I believe saying that the right choice, Dr. Samuel Adon, don't choose so, because with man say if it is not broken, don't fix it. And this team now we don't go with from 2018, and this same team now in don't give we lose by 100,000 votes. So because of that, we believe say them people are on there together and are the right people and they know the structures, they don't go through the structures. And to me, I believe that the right choice Dr. Samuel Kamara don't take for choose Cherry Coco as the running mate, because now the most fitted candidate amongst the lots where they always have the party structure and we don't work with the grassroots people them at a time where the party need people for help them for do things them and Cherry Coco understand by the people them. So now the right choice Dr. Samuel Kamara don't do.
Me na fans of Bayawali. Me na aspirant to come up for deputy national organizing secretary by faith. Na the right person pick because the person wey pick nobody party. In all this party don't go thin and nail. So na the right person pick for we. Won't go able to serve with a grassroots person. So we all happy we pick at it. Set precedent what we all mean they look for and we don't achieve that.
Me na Madam Memuna to come to World Cheerleader of 413 constituency 118. Well, believe said Dr. Samuel no make the wrong choice because Honorable Cherno, a grassroots politician, and he stand for we the women there and the youth. So we're so happy today. We're glad with this decision where Dr. Samuel take. At the same team 2018 and at the same team this 2023, Sampoku. So we're really happy.
Then people end up say, then go work with Dr. Samuel Kamara and Cherry Coco for make them win the June 24, 2023 elections. As all this they be, the flag bearer, Dr. Samuel Kamara, and the National Advisory Committee, now the APC, don't pick Honorable Kombo Kamara as the National Campaign Chairman for the APC for the June 24, 2023 elections. For Radio Democracy, Mange Mansari, the report.
The program is still listening to now. Good morning, Salone. We come to you from 98.1 FM. Inside the program, we continue for look at more issues. We go inside the family for 168-year-old teacher with the alleged in school picking Kilam. Don't call on authority them for give them justice in this case. Kembe, we a family member to the late man say this incident happened Saturday, March 11 na Victoria Street na Freetown, and say this late man na teacher to this bobo. Well, for more on this, we join you Kabia.
So when it comes towards 1:30, I think one issue. That towards that time they go to the back. From the back, I see he return back because see we go weekday, I see back we return. Yes. But by then we only one job. Tell we return, I be there. But by the time away, he go inside to the man now. I don't go inside operation room. That's normally no more. That's what they sit on the But that operation room they will get now. Now witness can say so you get now. They right inside. Then you see the distance. Me they up 90 down.
You be listening to our eyewitness, Mohammed Komon, we know to a young name. We be the talk about waiting in Sabi for second one incident will be happen Saturday, March 11 this year in Victoria Street. Outside the alleged say 17-year-old bobo be killing 68-year-old teacher. As he say, this 17-year-old bobo can go take class to this in teacher every Saturday. In Keyon say, after already Bobo be don't do this thing to in teacher, and be hand over himself to the police. Outside police is say, become na the host and take the knife where they allege say, this Bobo be used for killing teacher.
He investigating some guys and can't find the knife. A knife he use. But possibly polite, discipline, like that's normal. Not any aggressive person. So I wonder what he can do that. And so go and do by himself na police. So from there now, when the police can now, they can identify the body says at that time.
This be make Radio Democracy. We go work at the place outside this incident be happen. Outside we see blood all over the compound and self see finger mark with blood na the window. And this make we ask the family of the late man how they know about this incident. Eya Kembe, we married to this late man in Galpikin, been get this for say.
Well, now call we just in the house. Get a distressing call, say something like that, something they happen in house. So upon arrival, the police are now with me. So we meet, they don't kill we daddy. So that's all we know. We go to police. Police don't do arrest, so then they investigate the matter now. We not going to say much about that.
He continue say the late man don't teach for over 40 years now and say he don't serve the country well. Where this make it say they want justice for the late man.
Now Providence is the teacher now way that way lead to that. We don't teach now teacher of outstanding performance. So don't teach for 47 years. So don't teach now Boku schools in this country. Don't teach now Guinea, don't teach now Nigeria. So you don't really teach. So you don't retire now, So you don't deserve for that under the hands of the students where they impact knowledge. They call on the government and the judiciary of Sierra Leone for letting them do the justice because you don't serve this country for over 47 years. You don't teach now this country. You don't teach a lot of people there. So all we to need now justice.
With all these things we don't get out. We make we be going to the Providence school. When I did this bobo be they attend and serve, the late man be they teach. Where this make we be ask the proprietor for the school, Joseph Bangura. Who that's not then two people here at the school?
Well, Mr. Johnson and the director of studies at the school. And then the Bobon students with the SS3 arts.
He carry on for talk about the relationship where they between the Bobo and the late man.
From we findings, they say this Bobo and this Mr. Johnson will be even now in Bobo, like most times, now they buy food for the man. If the man eats itself, they left food for the Bobo because this is what we gather from the staff now. So what they know all the time, Mr. Johnson and this Bobo can talk good thing about, and eventually we'll further we'll go to the house. Then so we say, Mr. Johnson, they take this Bobo lesson our house every Saturday. I'm fortunate for ask the people living at the house. They say there's Bobo blends candy, and the Bobo being candy in the morning and everything. So later then see the Bobo come out, go wet. We actually know waiting really not the problem, waiting caused the death. Because within that Mr. Johnson go don't do that body so for me that kind of thing they happened.
After when this incident happened, information where they around that the school be don't suspend this Bobo before the incident happened. After when they say this late man be prosecute them and impadi them, where they allege say they be mix bad thing them na the school. Where make we be ask the proprietor Joseph Bangura, but waiting in know but this allegation and at this it be gets for say.
2 weeks back, the Bobo just come up from operation. When he even came, he just continued in the examination because we just complete with tests. So me just one for clear this one way people in the sea. Now discipline this Bobo. There are stages where the discipline begin. The first stage we always get them for call the parents for kind of school. Where the parents come, if you get a problem, we'll tell you so thing. But in this situation, this Bobo, we're not even discipline them and you not get problems safe. That even prompts me for go look now we crime book because we get a book we comprise of 50 crimes that we look now school who they record on a daily basis. So we go look at the crime book for see whether if your name appear at the crime book, your name only appear there for create talking. If they go out of class and everything whether they wrong. So now then crime then no more we see without body don't ever commit. We've been really surprised because we don't in existence for 17 good years. We don't ever get problem with that kind of thing. And the public can be a witness. We school now one of the most disciplined private schools in this country. For me, even see Providence speaking at streets is difficult. And the school is well structured. Everywhere cameras, they
For sake of all it's in the way radio democracy, we don't get that for sake of this incident. We next stop now with the Salone police. For make we go ask the police, what did they know about this case? But the police not being agree for talk to we. And according to information we get from family member, now that the body of the late 68-year-old man, then a mortuary, and the 17-year-old Bobo, then a police custody. With support from Aisha Sise for Radio Democracy, Kabia the report.
All right, we continue with the program. Good morning, Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM, 7:53. Now the time from studio clock, and we continue with the program. Good morning, Salone. Well, earlier na the program, now one power headline them will tell us say today, political party them and serve the public go assess how they see the standard of living for people in Salone during President's bill in 5 year now office. If people can remember, last week, Radio Democracy been start for look at different sector them as we continue for assess President's bill in 5 years now office. Last week, we look at human rights and democracy. Today na the program we dey look at the standard of living for citizens them na Salone during President Bio in 5 years in office. Well, for can look at this topic and self-assess how Salone people don't they live. Now the studio this morning we get Honorable Abdul Kago from constituency 077 and in a NAC member na the All People's Congress APC party, when na one party main opposition party them, and Sef na member na the communications department for the party. Good morning, Honorable, and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salone.
Good morning, Kajija. Good morning, 98.1. Good morning, me people in Salone.
We also na the studio, Thomas Dixon, in a journalist, and most them it can comment on issues them we get for the national interest or public affairs issues them. It only give your commentary as journalist. Good morning, Dixon, and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salone.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
And also, people want to announce, say, would they expect the National Publicity Secretary for the ruling SLPP party, where na Lahai Lawrence Lima, we just joined with na the studios this morning. Good morning, Lahai Lawrence Lima, and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salone.
Good morning, Karija. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, the topic today we look at, we assess the standard of living for citizens them during President Bio in 5 years now office. Inside 2018, Salone people have been votes for the president, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, and gave him a mandate of 5 years. And before the election, the president will share a manifesto with Salone people them. Also, he put things them where he tells Salone people, let's say, if them vote for him, it will make sure say he able to give them some of them basic things in there. And among them things in there, one pan they highlight them of the new direction manifesto. Now the one we get for do with the standard of living. Also, I talk about the bread and butter and other issues them. Almost 5 years down the line, really the most classy, they come back and look at some of them things and they waiting the president not able to achieve when it comes and the standard of living for Salone people. Well, for lady premise, we start with Lahai Lawrence Liman as they represent the ruling Salone People's Party for give a status report to Salone people waiting the SLPP government able for do 5 years along the line in terms of standard of living, waiting and talk about the new direction manifesto. Lahai Lawrence Liman.
Yes, Karija. Good morning again, listeners. When we talk of standard of living here, not necessarily limited to bread and butter. As a party, before we come to power, we do a diagnosis of what's been prevalent at that material time. So I make we manifesto actually been localized. We go around and try for survey, waiting have been the things that will be the Hamburg, the people there. So when we capture that in our manifesto, the president, by the grace of God, with the electum, he come into office with focus. Given the fact, say, we don't come at the time we, of course, the economy being there in downtown, and at the same time, most of the essential services themselves, they make people in life improve, in self being there in shambles. At the time, we people picking themselves for seat NPSs until you get 3 picking them to 1 question paper. Examination malpractice been there in the reef. The confidence in the educational system be don't drop drastically. At the same time, corruption be there in the increase, even in terms of government projects them. The economy will be the boom, it actually decline. So northern states then they will come meet this country. Even at the time we get a lot of ghost workers, you get a lot of people who work in the health sector without PIN code, who are not properly put on payroll, people and they wait and they double dip. Now then situations and they will meet. So with all of those, and the country also be over reliant on the mining sector, where it means say where we get Ebola, the shock, not able for manage them. So we come to office at the time where the presidency say we need for diversify our economy and at the same time deepen human capital development. Because when you diversify your economy, any shock will come, you go able for manager. When we come out in office at the time we feel say the economy being there in downtown, We come up with very good policies, measures, economic policy measures, then we able for help we for even roll out a flagship program in 3 months' time, and we are able for also gain donor confidence in we economic activities and government able for roll out programs then. Now, after we don't achieve them one day, the human capital development we talk about, the president focus and make sure say, first of all, it try for like separate the educational system itself from that of the primary, pre-primary, and secondary. That is the basic aspect from the tertiary aspect for able to get efficiency in the sector. We also don't try for diversify the economy in terms of boosting tourism, fisheries, and agriculture. After we will begin for record growth by 5.3% in the first one year. Shortly after that, the Ebola struck, and we actually try for do a policy shift in terms of how government expenditure they go. We begin, instead of putting money now into development programs, government begin to try for address emergency issues and see how best even it will get the economy for flow, especially with the SMEs and also the business people there. We also see the pandemic because of lockdown, how much it affects the world because of the lockdown and they across the world, and Sierra Leone not being any exception. Shortly after all the fees say the pandemic self the subside, we also face the global crisis we got for do with the Ukraine and Russia. But with all of these, the management strategy of this government in trying for ensure say we able to get goods them, especially essential commodities in the market, and even with picking them where they go school, pay fees for them picking, and they take that burden from the parents them, provide vehicles we go able for take them picking into the house so that to the houses them so that they go able for get better time for study. At the same time, increase energy supply from 16 to 40%. This also help for make the picking able for get time even at night for let them able for grab for study. And also we don't see the many queues that will be done. They see during the dries for water. I'm not saying not deal, but we not see much of that again as it be done they happen, because what in government don't do aside of the areas that we don't able to forget water, they don't increase bowsers them where they take water in communities them we actually not get pipe running. So we also look into the traffic systems. Even when the city they clog with traffic, human congestions, we see how the Hill Bypass Road, the government just don't complete that. We're not able for help also. If you take too many times from Eastern Police to Upgon, now you can take that bypass where it take you easily to the eastern part of Freetown. All of them things the Yahweh government they do now for reduce the burden on the people, then for able for improve on their life, then thinking skills, able for go about finding the livelihood. Now see recently within the even happen at Wilberforce. Because for minimize the road traffic accident on pedestrians, the government also don't take up the responsibility for all do and overhead for the pedestrians that when they cross the road. All of them things and the government they do, they improve on the livelihood of the people them. We see how government allocates about 11% of the national revenue to the health sector for also improve on we health services in this country. That is from 6% to 11%. And we also don't see innovations in the health sector itself, which I will get mobile health services to about 12 districts in this country. We're able to attend to about 12,000 patients them. We also don't see improvement also in some of the health areas in terms of even diagnosing cervical cancers and also getting operationalized dialysis facilities in this country. So even with the health sector, we are not there yet, but gradually we are making progress. So with all of them marks and way this government are able to achieve, where they in line with the president vision as at the time where it take up office, this is a huge score where it will try for minimize the burden where if we don't cause for the people them if we not being get a better management skills, a leader will get a better management skills for run the country at a time like this when the crisis is all over the world, and Sierra Leone being no exception, where it affects we, especially when we now an economy where they grapple, and we also not even get that kind of raw material where we the export we're a net importing driven country where we over reliant on waiting the common outside world for like we able for manage your economy.
Okay, thank you very much. Continue for stay with me inside the program. We get pardon in name Lahai Lawrence Lima, in the National Publicity Secretary for the Salone People's Party, and inside the edition of the program Good Morning Salone, we look at living condition under President Bio in 4 years plus rule. Inside the program, we get other studio guests. Then, but quick, we go for a short break inside the program Good Morning Salone.
Salone Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile App, you can able for use Salone Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money now the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Ed-Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Jagbadon done for the boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salone Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salone Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering God.
Commercial Bank. All right, we continue with the program. Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Where they come back in our studio as we still get studio guests them. We'll get Lahai Lawrence Lima, the National Publicity Secretary for the Salone People's Party, and Honorable Abdul Kabo, we Nanak member from the All People's Congress and Self-Ide part of the communications team, and Thomas Dixon, a journalist. Today in the program, we look at standards of living for the citizens them during President Bio in tenure as president, as they round up now in 5 years in office. We don't listen to the premise where Lahai Lawrence Lima, where they represent the ruling government stomach, where they come out to the main opposition party, when the APC party, Honorable Abdul Kabo. You don't listen to Lahai Lawrence Lima as he unpack some of the things them where the government's able for do within the 5 years for ensure say the citizens then get good standard of living. From own perspective as an opposition party, how can assess the standard of living for citizens them during President Bio in tenure as it completes now in 5 years in office?
Well, interestingly, most of the one they wait in our government, based on the money we then they get and salary and all, they're not the feel within the ordinary Sierra Leonean the feel. So then perception about the standard of living is quite different from if you go ask other than a treat. When the minister they talking measures say, well, limit corruption, this, that. And I want to make some clarification. Let we go into the audit reports and see the amount of money them where they lost, money that way they not they account for. In 2015, when I be APC 10, now 65.4 billion. In 2016, when I APC 10, now been 75.5 billion. In 2017, when I APC 10, now been 37.2 billion. If you add all the 3 years, then they win at APC 10. The money we lost, it totaled to 178.1 billion for 3 years. Just in 1 year, 2021, this government lost 178 billion, 187.3 billion. We beat the 3 years of APC joints together. Now this government loss. And it will interest you for note, more APC people don't go answer na ACC for this money we lost na this period than the one that will go answer for this 187.3 billion we lost this very year. So if we talk about corruption, we talk about unaccounted money, I feel say this government is top notch for everything. But quite apart from that, I just touched on it because the minister make mention about corruption. You see a lot talk about the standard of living. Very recently, we get what we call the 2022 Global Hunger Index. Then just released recently. and they access 121 countries. Sierra Leone can 112. Most of the countries that will be now countries that were in war. So it tell you, see, the level of hunger in this country is very unprecedented and very alarming. And I tell you, you know, in 2018, who will the left power? Inflation now been 14.91%. 2014, 2018, who will the left power? Right now, where they talk to you, inflation is 38.48%. We know one day upon a Salone. For the first time in the history of this country, we get a government na Guinea. We get good economic policy, fiscal policy than the government na Salone. This is not the first thing. The Guinea money it kitchen beat Salone. This is not the first thing. Even if you go even to the external debt of Guinea, you know, you find out say Guinea get prudent financial management than Sierra Leone when a military government now they rule Guinea. Yeah. Now, let we look at some of the basics. You know, before I go for that, let's look at some of the basics. When this government came in 2018, they meet one bag rest 200,000. As I talk to you now, almost 5 years, they don't raise them up to 650,000. So in 5 years, then there is 225% increment in the price of bag of rice. We're not the staple food. Yeah. Me, an engineer, I do some calculations. I do what I call the average annual increment in the price of bag of rice. So when you look, say, they don't raise them from 200 to 650,000. You check them by year. It means, say, for every year, the SLPP, they add 90,000 leons per bag of rice. 90,000 leons per bag of rice. So meaning, if rice they right now, 650,000, then you give the other 5 years, then continue for add this 90,000, 90,000, 90,000. Rest go 1,100,000 under SLPP. Because they not get good fiscal policies. They not get they not get prudent financial management. This now the first government where they can then change money. The money where they change, they left the old one, they say we stop for user, and they not even stop for user. Up to now, the old one they run. And ask them how much them go use for print money. Billions of loans now they spend for print money. Guinea no ever change their money. But their economy is far better than ours. That's how you say, then get people the way able to control the economy. That's how you, most of the ala way then they make say na global, na Ukraine. No, not to Ukraine. No. La go into some data. Yeah. La go to Guinea. They use Guinea, they use Ivory Coast, they use Liberia. Now, all in at the man of Union. Yeah. Guinea in 2020, then growth rate, they estimate them for be 7%. Yeah. Then Guinea, then public debt, now 43.3% of the GDP. So you find out, say, even at worst, the external debt, no past 50% of the GDP, 43.3%. The inflation rate na Guinea, as I talk now, 12%. You go to Côte d'Ivoire, the inflation rate now 4.2%. You see, and then public debt now 50% of the GDP. Sierra Leone, with public debt is over 95% of the GDP. Yeah, and where country they trust now for letting citizens them better. Now for let provide basic amenities for your citizens them. But this government not the one. Let me tell you, where they can have power, palm oil, this oil for gallon, now be 170,000 for gallon, one batter. Just in 5 years, in less than 5 years, they raise them up to 560,000. When a 241% increment. So meaning, where do the average annual increment? It means say every year, then they add 78 leons per oil in price. Yeah. So if we left SLPP for another 5 years, then still they add 78 leon, we go begin buy oil 950,000 leons. Now we go again to basic cookery. Not to the one at restaurant to that basic cookery where sometimes fish chef no go did it. 2018, we people them in the band 3,000 leons for plate. 3,000. And the man there would go sit down na cookery bar for 3,000. Now you check 15,000 for plate. So meaning
From 2018 to now, they don't add 400% now the price of basic cookery and normal cookery. 400%. I do average annual increment in the price of cookery. It shows say for every year, then they add 2,400 for the price of cookery. So if we left SLPP for another 5 years, then they begin buy cookery 27,000 euros for one plate. So the young man, the way they dance in the street, where they sing in the street, if they use them, not a person get for go buy cookery for them. Not a person get for go buy cookery for them. So these are the most difficult financial circumstances this country don't ever face since independence. The microeconomic data, they're all appalling. They're all discouraging. But this is not the first day they see bank governor. If they pull money in a bank, reserve in a bank dollar, if they go sell on the street, if they go auction now. Because they don't know say not to auction of dollars, they come down with the exchange rate. They don't know say now foreign direct investment, then they come down with the exchange rate. You see, so the economic policies now, interestingly, per mine, na Salone and the producer, yeah. Per mine, na Salone and the producer, na Salone and the process everything. For the first time in the history of Salone, we left per mine 120,000. Remember, oil, we left from 170,000. We left per mine 120,000. And per mine was cheaper than oil, will be the left power. Right now, per mine, ordinary per mine, now 650,000. There has been 442% increment. And if SLPP continue for dinner power, then they buy 1,180,000 for butter. I will tell you why make per mine go up shortly.
All right, Honorable. Just so una know, we produce and in the time una 10 minutes each for una for una make una case them. Well, the program na Good Morning Salone. We continue the program and the time from studio clock now na 8:15.
The program na Good Morning Salone will come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. You will listen to Honorable Abdul Kagbo from constituency 077 and also a member of the APC communication team for the 2023 election. And before that, we will listen to Lahai Lawrence Lima and the National Publicity Secretary for the Salone People's Party. Today, inside the program, we will look at the living condition of Salone people under President Bio in regime. And inside the program, we get Thomas Dixon, a journalist and social commentator on national issues. Thomas Dixon, you don't listen to the politicians on the living condition of Australians under President Bio in reign. As a journalist and social commentator, what you can talk about the living condition and standard of Australians at this moment?
I think the living condition and standard of living of is getting worse each and every day. I don't want to go into the politician and talk about cookery because we don't see politicians and before now they talk about a plate of cookery, hoping that when they come, then go change the plate of cookery or the cost of cookery, happen. But the situation is very, very worse, and for the layman down there get with the eat, a very difficult for even government workers. They are being paid from government coffers for them able for meet expenditure needs, a very, very difficult. And I want for also say the economy start for fail, or the standard of living start for depreciate even before the COVID and the Russian-Ukraine war. However, go remove the COVID and Russian-Ukraine war from the current predicament we will deepen, because it's not only affecting Sierra Leone, it's affecting other countries. You look at with currency, we get one of the best currency in the world. Currency don't depreciate to almost 40%, and we are not think we do enough for what they call we currency. And if you look at the maiden address of President Bio na Parliament in May 2018, he been tell the people of this country that he go revamp the economy of this country. but we'll not see that yet. He also tell the people of this country that he go reduce the wage bill. Rather, we see an increase in the wage bill. In fact, in the last appropriation bill presented to Parliament by the Minister of Finance, let me say former Minister of Finance, Dennis Vandi, he say apart from the global issues, the size of government also they affect the economy of Sierra Leone. Let's take, for instance, in State House, where you have a communication manager, a communication consultant, a communication this, about 5 people handling communication. You have the Ministry of Information doing duplicating the same work, and so many other offices where you go say not important. And will be this government being promised the people of this country that then go reduce wage bill. Rather, we don't see an increase in wage bill. Partly then go say, okay, wage bill will increase because we don't employ more teachers, we don't employ more nurses. But again, there are many government offices that have been created over the years. And you look at the prices of commodity also don't sharply increase from outside the Mindi. And this government promised the people of a better living. I remember just like our Honorable Sidona, where the former Minister of Finance, now Chief Minister Jacob Jusu Safa, been the talk. Now so be the talk. See how the plate of cookie, it don't turn this, the plate of this don't costy, and we'll come go reduce them in 6 months, and that has not happened. So in my analysis, I believe say we country they in a very serious economic situation, and according to the recent World Bank economic update, they say Sierra Leone they in a high debt risk, meaning with debt the way we don't take in this country is at a risky point, and that not they reflect on the standard of living of the ordinary Sierra Leonean. So my brother Laelo and Slima talked about increased energy supply. Yes, we've seen 36% from 15% to 36% increase on paper, but we've not seen that in reality. Look at Freetown, for example. Freetown, they experience so many epileptic supply of electricity. Sometimes some homes they go weeks without electricity supply. He talked about water. I will tell him, say, the water sector, there has been no improvement so far in the water sector. You go na areas there, you go see people, and maybe outside they win a minister and they go supplier. But there are areas where people, a lot of areas in Freetown where people are struggling to get water. And the honorable member of parliament talked about audit and ACC. I think from 2015 to date, we audit reports then don't remain for be alarming. They don't remain for be alarming. The past 5 years where you put all the money that we don't auditor allege say they don't missing or they don't misappropriate, it's up to 500 billion euros. It's up to 500 billion euros from 2018 to date. And would they see government not they take any action for able for recover those stolen money? Or are we waiting for government to change hands for let's get another commission of inquiry? We should be seen, which government should be seen taking action. I talk about the ACC. For me, I think the ACC then work on the audit. It's like a showbooting, wherein they can't no more for make like say then they do work and they do nothing. Even Parliament, I think Honorable Lady Naya, and then get that responsibility. From 2018 to date, they've not debated any of the audit report, and what things say is bad. And there is a parliamentary account committee, public account committee for able for call government agencies. They for can explain. We found one thing. We've not seen that for the past 4 years, and which we don't know what thing they happen at all. We can also see after audit report, Ministry of Finance, they come with some things that they say they don't put in place. But the other year, when audit report come out, the money where they lost, it they worsen. And this not get for do with one party. It has been the issue since 2015. year in, year out to get the same recommendation, same issues, and these things they affect the economy. And I want to also say where this one of the reasons why make the economy this so is it got to do with the way the government handle some of the multinational investors, them like SL Mining. That issue not be handled properly. But we thank, with as time progress, we see wisdom prevail. People and somebody came in and say, no, we cannot fight these people. Let's allow them to operate. And eventually they allow them to operate. Imagine if SL Mining don't they operate from 20. We know we all aware see some agreement, mining agreement them in 2018. We are all rushed through parliament. But there are ways where government will handle transition. You know, go just say because I don't kind of power, not to me approve, not to we parliament approve this, we remove una. No, that also gets an effect on the economy. So I think in all of these things, we see say the ordinary man, the suffer, and the level of poverty don't increase na Salone past how it been day 2018.
All right, Dixon, you don't exceed your first set of 10 minutes. We continue the program. We'll take music. We'll come back. We'll continue with the studio guest them.
The sound sensation. Come from run the nation. Check this out. Now, who's them will get the right man on the right place, huh? We're talking about reality this time. Youth man, this reality. 1, 2, don't make me talk fool. 3, 4, when most of we want. Some saying on this, some saying on that, some saying that they want to win the rule we are. Now me say sing again. 1, 2, don't make me talk fool. 3, 4, when most of we want. Some saying on this, some saying on that, some saying that the way we them men we are. If she's on approaching, you can start from me anyway. For playing love and loyalty to this with Salone. So tell me why you still do that thing. Boy, you know, see no they else you Salone for gold. Tell me why you descend to the street from my Salone go to your local way for good disease. Tell me why you live in the land. Boy, you know, see them again you for me to build. Tell me how you want to see Salone. Boy, you the people for the icon the right place. Tell me how she's Salone for gold. You the working on the people pay you income tax. The poor man still is green and green. Then they eat and forget to know we all for ships. Some say no this, some say no that, some just say no the rule we are. 1, 2, don't make me talk fool. 3, 4, when most of we want. Some say no this, some say no that, some say no the one the rule we are. Now me say sing again. 1, 2, don't make me talk fool. 3, 4, when most of we want. Some say no this, some say no that, some say no the way we them men we are.
Right, we continue with the program. Good morning, Salone. We hope so you enjoy that music day where Obelix crew do for we na the program, and the entitled last song they face reality. Well, we continue the program today with the assess President Bio as in the 5 years in office, how the standard of living don't talk for citizens them. We don't talk to we studio guest them, Lahai Lawrence Liman, we na the National Publicity Secretary for the ruling SLPP government. We talk to Honorable Abdul Kabo, na NAC member from the main opposition APC party, and Sef Idena the communications unit. We get a social commentator, we Sef na journalist, Thomas Dixon, in Sef we don't talk to him. Well, Radio Democracy been go talk to the ordinary citizens in the different partner freedom. Now this thing gets for say, but the standard of living as President Bio the 5 years in office.
Well, the condition of living in the country, in my own perspective, I see say it's tedious to some extent. Tedious in the sense where you check the transport fare compared to waiting in the pay we in the country. It's very, very incomparable, because you know we imagine and they pay somebody 500,000 or 1 million, but the transport we they pay maybe for the day go up to 20,000 leons or so. Even the prices of food commodities, the prices of food commodities don't so skyrocket.
Even though we price the hike on them food commodities there, they make sure say they pay subsidies them again for their food stuff there, for make sure say many people them get them, because we don't they see other countries them they suffer get access to their food. But here in Sierra Leone, the accessibility is people them they get them at every given time when you want food. Now the country they get them. The government don't do so much for make sure say the people them get access to them food stuff there because accessibility, as I can say, now any country so far where people then get access to things them, especially food commodities them, I feel say a good. So government of Sierra Leone don't do very good job in that area. Therefore, make sure say the people then get access to them food commodities there.
Well, to me, the living condition, things are very difficult. Then they are not gonna lie, devoid of politics or what. Like what they get today, it's not happening. At least for feed my family, get basic things the normal for me safe. It's very, very difficult. That I will not hide, especially with the prices of commodities, they go higher every now and then. And even in my own family and even friends, they were the meet with and people them around. It's just the same thing. Then they complain, say things are very, very difficult. Because things are very difficult. Rice now 600,000 per bag. Very difficult. Per mile now don't dear.
Yeah, I tell you, thank you, understand me. No CS system, the thing changed because of the global crisis, understand me, and the Ukraine war. So you compare to other countries like Nigeria and big parts of the economy, they to life for petrol, to life for all things. But we tell God thinking that we're not to line. God help we will solve her. You get me? What you be going for? The way rock out tomorrow boom. So right now, they are tomorrow boom machine. They are process for all the get you rest little for suffer. If that be, problem don't solve for you. To me, I tell God thank you. I need to work. I be going to see, but I'm not going to see again. I'm not going to big to nobody. But at least why they make the effort, God give me to it. You know, go see on fully and fully. Go see on get to. What you come for? What you do for yourself first? What you do for this country? The only America, I mean, I see my don't go to send it. If you not suffer, need to get money. You understand me? You as a young man, when you learn work or you learn skill, you educate yourself, you go to survive. But tell me to go school, you know, work. You go see on get some kush. I want to survive. It's not correct. As a young man, you bring me for work.
Okay, that's now some citizens them we Radio Democracy talk to on the topic at hand. We now the living condition of Sierra Leoneans them under President Bio in regime, and we don't, as my colleague rightly mentioned, we don't talk to we panelists them. If you choose to join, we get Lahaye Lores Lima, National Publicity Secretary for the Salone People's Party. And also we get Honorable Abdul Kagbo from constituency 077 Nakafbolom Kingdom, and also member na the PR team for the All People's Congress APC party for the 2023 election, and Thomas Dixon, a journalist and social commentator. I can tell you, Lahai Lawrence Lima, you don't get from you co-panelists them, and also you don't get from the citizens them. One thing from just the clip we play now that things are accessible, them are accessible, but then very expensive with in the affordability. What the governments they do about things like this, and within now the government in the assessment of the things they are so where they happen.
What I appreciate now the fact that even the public align with me balanced analysis of the current situation. So we as a government not ever feel too proud to say we have achieved all, and we always do acknowledge the fact that things are difficult. From the president to we always get time for talk or for expound on what it is say. We have all said it. That we all acknowledge that, say things are difficult and we make effort. And the president, they inspire the leadership for make we able for work collectively, like we able for attain that level where my brother Abdul Kabuna is on the Atma Guinea, where Alpha Conde don't inspired. Today, as a country, most of the commodities they would get them from Guinea. Now make if Guinea shake by we small, we be confused. And Guinea not too extraordinary from Wales. The same, most of the things they would get from another agriculture work, what they do. But we decide for like even get with people that are more into the city center here for involving into politics, then we encourage them for let them go back and see the need for engaging in agriculture. So the president, they inspire the people and for let them see the need for let we utilize we land. And so far, this government are able to achieve that because we don't even get a lot of private investment in the agriculture sector. We, of course, that they show say, would build the future for let the economy of this country go be resilient in an event we get any difficult times. Because the moment we begin produce in abundance, where they get surplus, where we able for send na other countries, and then that go able for help with foreign currencies, where we able for get, we go improve the livelihood. Now, in terms of increase of prices, what do we all know now? The fact say the dollar actually don't increase because of the dollar don't become value over the loans, not just we own loans, but even in other countries, then we don't engage in any export activities. With crisis in the world and the dollar, they become more value. If they find out say the loans we'll get, it will be of nothing because we don't get nothing with the pool. So now it make we self the try for work very hard. Let we self begin to produce which we send with the earn with dollars. Now, also, if you look at the mining agreement, this country, where this government don't do with SL Mining, the review of the mining agreement with SL Mining don't earn this government or this country a better proceeds than before. At the same time, this government don't do well in terms of implementing the audit report than the APC government. I see my brother Abdul they play with the things, the people are emotions, but I think the public, without even saying much, the public says they don't tell us. Yes, we agree that things are difficult, but we self get for make effort from what we get from the public. And so now that make in government, we they inspire, the president, they provide that inspirational leadership for make people see the need, say, not to only government get for do that, but we all collectively get for achieve for change with country in narrative, especially on the economy.
Lima,
Yes,
Lima,
Khadija, just conclude on this. Adena government, Abdul Dena government, would they get salary? But I tell you for free, we equally so much to feel waiting the ordinary man to feel. You understand, eh? Because in as much as I get 20,000 leons for month, but I equally get people that would not work, where they look up to waiting at the get, and they feel the same thing where they feel in the market. So it day on me for make sure say we work very hard for improve on that situation, so that we all go be happy, we go live happily with the little meager what they get. Now, what in government don't do also for take some of them burden on the people, and then one and they be established. Imagine if all of which you don't say the money at the people, then the people then go for pay school fees as well. Then beginning they go to school, they're not able for afford lunch, they not get chop for eating at school, they not get textbook for read, they not get light for study. And I think say if we don't worsen than any other thing. Now we not meet nothing, we meet the economy, in almost in collapsing shit. But at the end of the day, we also we inherit austerity. So basically, now we get for come manage that austerity and still roll out government programs. And as I speak to you as a date, we know they pay salaries or roll out government programs from any bank overdraft. Government is able to generate revenue for make sure say we run government programs.
Lima, quickly, yes, you just make mention say on inherit austerity, on makes the economy almost the collapse. Almost 5 years now in governance, presently, with how things stay. You listen to statistics where Honorable Abdul Kabo, if you want for ignore your statistics, but with the current things, them, the way how prices they go up and how the exchange rate as of yesterday, dollar na 2,080,000. How you go describe the current state, how people they believe na Salone?
Khadija, I think I don't state Dandy. I don't state I'm very clearly here say, in as much as the dollar is the value, Sierra Leone not the export much. We'll continue to experience this. But what thing we need, we go create the right food policies. We will create all the best policies in the world. It not go work if we are not producing. And that is why the government is also shifting massively his policy directive on agriculture. Because agricultural achievement will able for help we so much for able for move from them conditions and the way they face. I think before they come IRE, we will not play the episode of Ministry of Agriculture. We don't get about, is it $4,000 or $4 million investment into poultry. If we ever get a better factory and produce that better, then they also go able for help like we said with the same products and we go for
the
help
area of
in terms of
agriculture,
dollarization.
not so today it begin. Let's take you back to one state's address where His Excellency be making a parliament 1 year. Also, even challenge in government official them for go into farming. Let everybody ensure say establish a farm so that the area of importing rest from other country them it will reduce. So what happen with all the strategy then where President B.O.B. they try for put in place? Is it that they not work?
And when we come with the economic diversification, first of all, the economy be almost done. They go down to 46. Done the decline to 46 point something percent. When we come, because we work assiduously with good policies, we're able for record growth by 5.3%. But because of the COVID, we begin experience decline in 2%. So also we try for make sure say we get more youths skilled. I mean we get more youth for be trained in skill jobs. We get about 100,000 youths them where we train for get skill job, so that at least their services to the community will be useful and then go able for be competitive even when they no go school. What we all need for do as a government, and the things that we president don't do, it don't work out a lot. Now that make we even don't get an increase in enrollment of we picking them we want for go school. There is huge access, and at the same time we don't also create new tertiary institutions like the new 3 universities. Then we, of course, this government don't establish Nakono, as well as Eastern Polytech and Mitimagai. And we not just establish the universities and they will let Kono, not even get the infrastructure. As I speak to you now, the construction work is going on, as opposed to empty intentions where previous administrations express, where they say they go build Kono University. Go there today and see now the construction work is going on. And we don't come, even infrastructure projects the way we take, we don't make sure, say, instead of wasting too much of money with corruption, we don't make sure, say, they are all cost effective, and that we also transfer some of the leftover way people and for don't siphon into them pocket into some other development projects them we they do.
When you listen to the people then raise concern about the issue of transportation, according to them, very expensive. Then they put more money into transportation, and also you talk about the availability of electricity, but the concern of the public now that it's very expensive for buy extra top up. This plus other issues, them now one way people don't raise concern about as government, I want to work for ensure they want to address some of the issues there. So we affordability now a challenge for the people.
First of all, government don't try and best for make sure say we reduce taxes on essential commodities so they can in this country, like food, because that is very key. If government not be able for reduce taxes on food, so until we talk about food price today, it would have been different. And government will continue for take taxes on a lot of other commodities, then government not going to run itself. So the biggest problem we continue for raise about price increase, not just the difference between the dollar and that of Williams. And so in as much as we know they export much, it's difficult for local able for address that no matter which kind of sound policies we out. And that make we feel say we therefore go back into the extractive industry for make sure say we improve on that one day, and we increase people and focus on going back for able for engage in investment in we own resource based the way we get. Precisely here, now that make the government able to achieve the focus of the public or the attention of the public for go back into agriculture. We don't get a lot of private investment into the agricultural sector. I will tell you, say, in the next 5 years, we will begin experience a lot of change and improvement in the economy and in the price variations we currently experience in this country.
Continue for the week inside the program. Lahai Lawrence Lima, National Publicity Secretary for the Salone People's Party. Inside the program today, we look at living condition under President Bill in government. The program na Good Morning Salone, they come to you from 98.1 FM.
All right, so they can out to we other studio guest, Honorable Abdul Kabo, representing the main opposition APC party. Honorable, where you talk about standard of living, it refer to the quality and quantity of materials, how the citizens they able for access them and ensure say the access them and affordable for them. And we look at the earning power, considering to the minimum wage of Salone citizens them. You listen to within Lahai Lawrence Lima don't make. According to the situation will only get better with Salone able for engage in large scale of producing things them we go make the country get enough money and the economy self go able for stable. In terms of accessibility, quality goods and affordable, Wetin go be your take on that?
Firstly, let's just address within the minister in the say.
You get 10 minutes. Sir.
Yes, let's just address within him in the say regarding how they don't help for pushing the burden on the people, the economic burden. He say because of them policies, then they don't help for pushing the burden. Me go say now, down there na the reverse. People away mean they pay transportation. Ferry na 3,000, 4,000 mean they pay. Where these governments can, they increase the price of fuel from 6,000 to 21,500, which is very unimaginable. If you get sorry out for you people that you pay, you supplement. You pay, you say government, they take some of the burden. So if government increase on the cost of transportation, now if person they come on lungi, we midi, you want come free talk, you spend close to them 50, 60,000 euros for like the APC 20,000 euros don't take you from lungi to Freetown. You understand? So if they want pushing the burden, why they not give the cost of water rate? But understand the bread and butter where them talk about bread and butter where them in the talk about 98.1 bread now 2,000 bread not they again. If you see the bread now, in fact the size was $9 reduce, then the cost don't increase. You understand? SLPP 10 now 1,400 euros for 1 kilowatt hour. See how they wicked do. And then go negotiate with the car power ship for let the car power ship reduce the cost where they sell electricity to them. APC 10 women they buy electricity 19 cents. Where then can then go, they negotiate for 16 cents. So for 2 years payment. So waiting and do then come back, they can add the price of electricity. Now the ordinary Sierra Leone and the aid. How you the help for pushing the burden? Data. When you the top up that ordinary school picking where something data it they use. For make sure say it go na internet, it take information then they, make sure say it study. Then man they are the increased data.
But honorable,
skyrocketed
honorable quick one according to Lahai Lawrence Lima, then tax and then the need for
it. Just 1 year we get 187 billion we lost. You say now for run the state. Then quite apart from that, even to top up na your phone under the watch of the latter everything be happen. Where QCell come. Then come with the intention, say, then they come with top up price with 100 euros for minutes. Then get a law where it should say 30% of each call where they make if for go to government. So QCell say, okay, 30% for minutes. Government again, true NATCOM, tell QCell say, then get floor price. QCell not forever sell top up less than 500 euros. So QCell was forced to skyrocket the price. If you get people there at the center, one the way they vote for you, one the way make you get power. You do all them things then they, life is difficult. Government the way we get government way, they put the people there at the center. Some of them think they are at the government they suffer for let the people they move. You see the minister they laugh because okay. And they tell and just now say they buy fear. It just they go no more, go park in motoka. It just they go park in motoka then top.
But Lahai Lawrence Lima just make mention say when they Lima just talk about the taxes the way they reduce, where they take up office.
Whose tax where they reduce? No tax, no way they reduce. No tax. Last time they refer to. Sometimes not even understand the program where they grassroots. Now the quick action response economic plan they call them QAP. Yes. Now immediate program. In fact, it get five arms. The minister says it didn't have government to but not to offer it waiting that happen at government. It get 5 arms. You understand? And I tell you, waiting they inform government policy.
government policy na the outcome, how it get effect on the living of the people. Yeah. Then they all are tomaboom. The time when they talk about tomaboom, now that 10 day rest tower for God. Waiting at the essence of tomaboom. If rest just the go. You see, if you invest, there should be some returns. You see, the crop where they say they give money to the one the way they import rice, the way they import rice, where they import some other goods, for make sure say they keep going. These are, but how then they affect the prices? How then they affect the prices? So to me, as he say, and he also say, APC, they trust money in a bank, they do this, just for 2001 alone, this government borrowed 21 billion leos in a bank. Let's read the annual statement of the consolidated fund. 21 billion. Now this government borrowed just in 2001 alone.
2001, you mean?
Alone, just alone, 2001, the year, the financial year 2001, 21 billion. Now this government was in a bank. Yeah. So this government don't make things very difficult. Government sometimes and then una they bear the economic burden. Ghana waiting and do where prices then go up, where things then very difficult. Then call all the ministers, all the government appointees then. They reduce 30% of their salary. And then say this law put on for people, the law try for subsidize for let things then go down. But yeah, I will tell you what and do. I will tell you what and do now. Yeah. Let's tell you what and do. Office of the Chief Minister. In 2022, the wage bill, among them in the give them for salary, now 19.98 billion. But in 2023, as at the talk so, instead of the reduce and they increase to 22 billion, Office of the Chief Minister, Office of the President, in 2022, now 101.8 billion, they mean they receive a salary. But in 2023, as I speak now, 111.4 billion. Yeah. The law will go again also to Office of the Chief of Staff, when are the Chief Minister. APC 10. You may get a lot of other organizations, them or other institutions that way under the Office of the Vice President. You may get the Office of the Chief Minister. You may get the ODA. You may get MCC. You may get PPP. You may get EITI. You may get APRM. They all lady, but still their salary now been 22 billion with 112 staff. Now they don't pull OD under the Office of the Chief Minister. They under the Foreign Affairs. MCC they under Vice President Office. PPP they under Vice President Office. But the money it remain the same day. Now the same salary then they receive. So we find out say the people then just care and center about themselves. How then they enrich themselves. How then and that woman they will get for dance for you, we get for sing under it. You understand? Now only now you care about her. Where election they come. We say so we are in a Lungesi, then they try for make the generator for begin give you like this 2 months. After 5 years, when are 3 days or 4 days inside the month, then they give you like alternatively. You see? So then just one, now waiting now for the camera, so just for elections.
Honorable, in all of these, let we say if now the APC, how na for don't do?
The APC, where APC been there power. Electricity was one of our priority. What did we do? Even when we negotiation with the car power ship was 19 cents per kilowatt hour. We ensure say we give enough electricity in the city, and we ensure say we reduce them to 540 leons. 9 people let me pay for 1 kilowatt hour. SLPP, even when they go negotiate, them make the arrangement for let them pay 16 cents, which is lower than what the APC mean they pay. Then can they increase them to 140. 1,400 leons. You understand? Then also electricity. Me na Kafubulomade. Now they spend most of my time. Yeah. APC time. We mean they get 18 hours electricity on daily basis, not even on alternative days. On daily basis, 18 hours. This government said they no go buy fuel. They said they no go buy fuel. So we did there now. Anytime you see electricity na Kafubulom. So then the month starts 3 days inside the month, 4 days inside the month. Then they stop. Say go na blackout till they get. They say they no go buy as if now free people and they get the electricity where people and they pay for them. You say so this government not get the people at the only time you go see this government near people and away election come. Really? Yes, now where election come. Now you go see them, they go yonder, then they go this, say we don't make this, we don't do this free, we don't do this free, we don't do this free. Una go they shave money. You see the video where then they shave money now, 20,000 to people there. Let them go they shave money.
All right.
But the people of Sierra Leone not ready for go outside we come out. Because if we allow SLPP for continue, we not put them 2 elections, then law prepare for another suffering of 5 years.
All right, Honorable Abukabo, continue for the week the program. Or they come now to Thomas Dixon, when I a social commentator and a journalist. You don't listen to the politician, them, you don't make them point them, and the ordinary people them. We, I believe, say yourself now one pandemic because you're a citizen of Salone. Talk about the reality, the issues at hand. Talk about the amounts within the sell rest now, per month, even the basic thing there within the grown Salone, they're expensive. In this kind of era, what do you think say government for do now for the ordinary citizen?
Well, I think government for be empathetic, government for able for cut down on in expenditure, government for able for going some certain things then. Even in UK, in terms of energy bills, when the Russia and Ukraine war, they affect them in terms of energy, the government come in bigly. But here, in the peak of COVID, government increase the electricity tariff, where we think say at that time, government for either maintain the electricity tariff or then for bear the burden. But that not be the case. But about diversification of the economy, where the 2 speakers then talk about. I think since independence, we don't talk about diversification of the economy, concentrating on agriculture and tourism. But over the years, that statement only remains statement and nothing. We'll not see anything, any improvement about that. Yes, we've suffered in terms of COVID, in terms of Russia and Ukraine war, and we see some form of government effort, like what the Honorable Minister mentioned, the QUAC. We provide about 500 billion for trader importers, about 5 sets of 5 categories of people, and also according to government-owned document, in terms of fuel. Government, they forgone in 2020, they said they forgone about 60.7 billion in terms of revenues to government. In 2021, they forgone about 248.9 billion. And electricity, yes, electricity don't improve on paper. But as Honorable say, we are yet to see the actual improvement of electricity. Even in Freetown here, we see of late where they get blackout, constant blackout. And you go to other places, suicide government, they say don't improve on electricity. And where a country wherein you have electricity, for example, in the capital, even the poor of the poor, go able for sell cool water, sell ginger beer, and get something. In areas like Lunge, if electricity, the poor of the poor go able for do that kind of stuff, then they and sell. But this is not happening. And when you look at the cost at which prices they go, they talk about the forex. I tell you, the dollar just the right, the leon just the depreciate. It's like it's in a free fall from about 800,000 leons in 2018 to now we are talking about 2 million. 80 leons, and which is very, very difficult for Sierra Leoneans. Imagine somebody where they pay $1,000, where at that time there be 8 million leons for a house. Now they pay something like 20 million leons for the same property. So this time they get a toll, even for business people, entrepreneurs, Sierra Leonean entrepreneurs, we rent shop. You go to Cambodia Street, most of the shop they now they close because people lend the same 1,000. Not to say the dollar, the price increase, but the rate at which the leon they depreciate, they affect them business. Some of them they close, some of them they sack workers them because of the rate at which. And these are all the things where they say government for be empathetic. Wherein you have the Honorable mention about Ghana, wherein government cuts down on the salary, about 30% on the salaries of government ministers. I want to say Ghana's situation was a bit worse than we own, to the point that they need to IMF now for let IMF bail them out. But in what we say they face the similar situation. I want to see a situation where in government go forgo certain things. Where in government go say we know they take this tax. You talk about the top up internet. I think we don't go up drastically. You know, they blame the mobile companies then because change rates also don't go up. But when you watch at the sub, they forgo them. You the beer and let the people let benefit at the end of the day. So the situation very, very, very serious as we go into another election. We say we government need to be serious about diversification of the economy. We need to be serious about agriculture. If this Russian Ukraine war not land Africa and Sierra Leone, anything is about agriculture. We have to be serious about it.
Now, agriculture for over the past years, then government in, government out, don't they put emphasis on agriculture? You think say that emphasis on the agriculture and investment in the agriculture, they reflect on the living condition of the people, especially in the area of bread and butter?
As I say in me remarks just now, some of their statements the way government they make just remain for big statements. And if you go now the Ministry of Agriculture, you follow the recent audit report, you see so many projects where they don't mishandle. Like for instance, the onion project, Nalungi, about 4 districts, they don't mismanage that project. You get the palm oil project. Palm oil, I had the producer, but palm oil has risen from about 200,000 euros per batta in 2018 to something like 700,000 euros, which is a huge cost. And then we have a project, a 9.8 billion project on palm oil production in the Ministry of Agriculture, where don't mismanage according to audit reports. So you get government can get them plan and they will mismanagement here and there. You have the Toma bomb. According to the audit report, the Toma bomb is nowhere to do. Toma bomb project is nowhere to go to. The Toma bomb project it just didn't know more as a project. Nothing they happen. So we want to see 4 years ago, this government don't talk about this Toma bomb, this and that, blah, blah, blah. We want to see some of these things, they actually manifest. We are in the people, the layman out there, we're able for go to market, able for cook a good meal for in Pekin, for in family. The layman out there go able for eat very, very well. But as I speak now, the situation is they get worse each and every day. Right. And the people of Sierra Leone and all of us as a people, we need to come together and look at this kind of situation, because you get to look at the economic situation on the backdrop of the Russian-Ukraine war, on the backdrop of a pandemic.
All right, thank you very much, Thomas Dixon. We come back and the producer them just say for extend the time to 15 more minutes. Each one speaker gets 5 minutes for wrap up, as not just 15 minutes to get. Lahai Lawrence Lima, we look at the social contract now. You think say the SLPP government are able for keep the social contract to the people them and then for re-elect for another 5 years mandate? Yes.
Can they do them briefly in 1 minute for respond to some of the things that we have to say now for play with the emotions of people. Me family, I just want to say, if this country, apart from President Ahmed Tijankaba, President Nkrumah been get very good intentions, but not be able to take strong
5 minutes.
Yeah, strong control over some of the ministers them we actually make able to achieve the good dreams that we get. So what thing happen where Abdul don't carry the play with the people emotions now? Now them pull subsidy and fail during the regime. Where we come, what in President Bill do under in leadership, it makes sure say where prices of fuel go down, now the country, now the world, it makes sure say Sierra Leone experience the reduction of fuel price. Now that we they do as a serious government. We they talk about wage bill now. We're talking about wage bill. Before this time, we not get universities on with payroll. We don't take university on board on with payroll so that at least then go left for they go through the constraints that wouldn't they go through for focus, for quality teachings or lectures to we school picking them or we university student them. And so this you experience say it get for add up to the wage bill. We don't create very meaningful new institutions them like the climate the environmental ministry. You need that type of ministry for make them able to articulate at levels, at conference where the expected ranking of people for able for go there now ministers. And we need that kind of institution there. And that institution is helpful for able for help for regulate environmental improvement. And so when you take them one and they on board, it's also very helpful. Some of the improvements or investment that we get now some of them embassies then where we don't create and the lobby within the create and that take for instance the Lunge International Airport. Because we establish embassy now places like Turkey, we're able to create a very good rapport where we don't get such development. Now, for the first time in decades, Sierra Leone not import seed rice for the first time. So what would they say? Because over time we not inject transparency into the agricultural sector, now we could not see improvement there. But with this administration in focus, it don't make sure say for the first time we're not able for import seed rice since 2021 to 2022. Now this we call serious government. So for the next 5 years, you go find out say we self go able for begin produce now, we're able for take care of we. Increase rice production. We also don't try for increased rice production by 900,000 metric tons, where this don't even make we not able for import seed rice. Now, in terms of coming for address the issue of the question we asked me, social contract. Now we promise the people, let me say, on the manifesto commitment that we will improve or deepen the human capital development. And indeed, we don't see the improvement in the educational sector. Even as I talk, till date, transportation for them school bus them, now 1,000 leos for picking them. We don't see a situation now, outside areas that wouldn't just feel in an opposition strong area. Even then, development, the government they bring for the picking there, then they burn the buses. They even decide not for user. But we not relent. We make sure say we do we best for reduce the burden on the people. So if we don't take school fees from the people, we also don't take school feeding. Where if parents not able to produce lunch, but in Peking we eat and pay attention at class. And we don't make sure say we don't increase access to learning. And at the same time, picking them, they pass the public exams than ever before, and in a very disciplined and proper rudimentary approach, wherein they get 3 picking, they take exam and 1 question paper. We get the tendency for compromise exams rules. In governance, in governance approach today, the judiciary is more transparent than you think of in the days of the APC. The judiciary is open and it do in best for make sure say they speed up cases them, especially cases that way they get political ramification around them. They don't make sure say transparency don't they in the judgment of them cases and they will bring satisfaction into the minds of the public.
Lima, don't almost exhaust it, but quick one for the listeners, waiting at the message of hope in terms of all what we don't discuss.
The message of hope is that President Bio promised and he deliver and even go beyond the things the way he promised. Wow. In other words, the SLPP is a credible party and they get credible leadership as at now. So I believe say the hope what they give to the people, if you give President Bio the next 5 years, the SLPP the next 5 years, Sierra Leone, we all go experience, we go see the change just like we see them now.
Thank you very much, Lahai Lawrence Lima, Publicity Secretary for the Salone People's Party. We inside the program, they talk about President Bio in 5 years and living condition of the people. And we come to the other studio guest, quick one. Honorable Abdul Kabul, the way forward. You get 5 minutes.
I expect the minister here to apologize to the people of this country for making life difficult for them. Instead, they say President Bio don't deliver, and he don't even go beyond his promise. So meaning they are even happy with the status of the country, the way the country is. So that shows the level of insensitivity to waiting the people of this country they face. And if the people are left there, the things go worse past the way they so. APC don't come, we don't perform, and people they don't see what the APC capable for do.
Talk about the deliverables then, the things that they don't do in 5 years. Make mention of the education, you make mention of the transportation where you say they now for school picking, and nothing say that's tangible.
The judiciary,
please allow
this is the last minute. Someone said no say they part of the rules.
The less you talk about transportation, the better it is. Now, at the time you Khadija, even if you say picking the not pay the school fees, then secondary school fee not be high. Sometimes now 25,000 leons for term. So 3 term now something like 75,000 leons. Then pay them for you. But then they pay 5 where they buy 1 bag rice. You they pay 6 where they pay transport.
for go up and up.
Assuming them
You
dey
dey
pay
pay.
fees back. No, assuming them dey pay fees
Mr.
back.
Minister,
Please allow him.
una left them let them pay the fees.
Minister, I'm not going for
Una
response.
left them let them
He
pay the
just
fees.
get
As we
5
go along.
minutes.
Una left them let them pay them fees. You understand? They let things difficult. You have made life more difficult for the ordinary Sierra Leonean.
Because you did not
To
lay the
me,
foundation.
if una want say let them give una other 5 years now, wickedness.
Really?
Because you don't concede say una no will address the problems.
I wouldn't know.
The past governor, even they even get information say they don't replace her.
Please, Mr.
You know,
Minister, no, we
they get information
listen to
because the policies they always encounter with no work.
Really?
Then can they sell reserve in no work. Then can they go print new money, go waste boku money, print new money in no work.
So how
Then can
government
they
they
even
pay
tell
you
you
months
say,
down?
they even tell you what government they trust money. They even tell you say, they even tell you say,
we don't lack that credibility.
they even tell you
They no dey
say,
trust.
where you see where they are, I beg una had me time because they are wrong. Una had me time. Mr. Minister, Mr. Minister, I get for patient. No, one thing way for do.
Please,
You know, one I tell the people the truth. So they interject for let the people know waiting for. He talk about subsidy. Now that they mean with problem between APC and IMF. Because even when IMF tell APC say before we give una money, una remove subsidy per fuel. APC tawa, we say no, they left us 6,000. But it's unimaginable. If even in the dream, then tell you say if you vote for SLPP, you go buy fuel at 21,500 for saying a lie. You give them another opportunity. You give them another opportunity. You go buy fuel 40,000 euros in this country. So the people have not been able. You understand? We get proper physical management, then they control the economy well to the extent that we get democratic government. We're not able. We're not able. They don't catch in between. If you say we own people like do, this now an insult to we own people like
please, Mr.
An insult to we own people like. Yes, the people are very hardworking. Even the one where they sell Lipamine, the person where they sell Lipamine, you know when to make Pamine they go up. Pamine now they produce am. Mr. Minister, give me time. Give me time. Give me time.
Well,
Give
you
me
don't
time.
exceed
Give me
the 5
time.
minutes. We're
Give
not
me
getting enough
time.
time again.
Give me time.
No, please, Mr.
Give me
Minister.
time. Me not dey interject at all. I respect to listeners there. You know, you make Pamine go up. Pamine now they produce am. Now then they do all the processing. But that way mean they produce the Pamine. You understand? Now out of that Pamine, now they go buy one bag rest. Now out of that Pamine, now they go do things there. So now if you left the price of Pamine down, you know they able buy one bag rest. You know they able pay transportation.
You don't almost go out of your time, but quick one. What's not the way forward?
The way forward now for pool SLPP. They not get the capacity. They have been in power for 5 years. They have not provided us with the alternative now APC. APC don't get the power for 10 years. For 10 years. But now money they lost past them ever in this country.
All right.
3 years.
Thank you very
3
much.
years money we lost under APC. SLPP now 1 year.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Honorable Abdul Kago. Quickly.
I know past you now APC. If you know to APC,
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Abdul Kago.
We always get the fight between the APC and the SLPP. And I think they keep on fighting whilst the people remain for the suffer. For me, I think important for we look at we economy from across with a bipartisan view from all party, all Maggie view about the economy, because the situation where the economy is so in the world economy, it is not easy. So you find for the world sit down and give your opinion, respect yourself going forward. Your question is about social contract. I think the social contract theory, they talk about government providing them or their manifesto to the people they buy them by voting. Education, they don't provide them. Me no go. Me I can always refuse to put quality and the free education. So I can say free education. And but when you come to the economy, I think they are feeling woefully.
No, that's not true.
And there are areas also in terms of good governance. You talk about the removal of the 1965 public conduct for journalists, it was good.
30%,
And you
gender.
talk about the gender bill, I think it was good. These are good things. There are other areas where I think say they don't try for do well. If you look at MCC scorecards, you see some of the ratings are very high. in some of the areas, and but what happened in August 10, Pademba Road prison break. These are things we shed light on how terrible the human rights situation in this country. So these are also things we they give the government a failing score. And if you also look at agriculture, we are not doing good in terms of agriculture. We are not doing good in terms of trade, where they affect the prices of goods in the market, where they affect the layman for able to live a life. So about the social contract, it's left with the people of Sierra Leone. I'm a journalist. I know the Canada can tell Sierra Leone and they say, go vote for party A, go vote for party B. But you know your situation and you know how you
quick one, Thomas Dixon. You time almost done. But what do you think is the missing link in all of these? Where you did mention some of the challenges and successes. What are the missing link we need for be corrected?
Well, I think about diversification of the economy. I keep on going to it. We have to be serious about it. And not just get for be a statement. In the agenda for prosperity of the former government, they talk about diversification of the economy, but we say we economy just concentrated on the extractive, getting money from the extractive. So we need we are prime as net import economic driven nation. We need to move from that and begin for look about things, bringing industrialization. Begin for look at how we go get to agricultural products, produce them being exported out of Sierra Leone, how we're able to feed ourselves. We don't tell they talk about food sufficiency. Remember if you read Milty Magai in first speech as Prime Minister, he talked about diversification of the economy. So we know the problems. Since independent, we know the problems. And up till now, these problems are still there.
So, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, now they end the program. Good morning, Salone, for today on edition. At the studio, we get Lahai Lores Lima, where they represent the ruling SLPP party. Honorable Abdul Kabo, the main opposition party in the APC. And we get a journalist, a social commentator, winner Thomas Dixon. We'll end the program now. Michael Sambola and Alex Lores Kuman, and then produce the program. DJ Cliff give you technical support. Usman Kamai and in team that they make una watch me live on Facebook page. Mina Khadija Bangwa, they wish you all a lovely day.
And Musa Kamade say bye-bye.
Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Well, that's not any program. Good morning, Salone, where they come to you every weekday. Stay tuned. We're going to go now commercials file and check the commercials for this morning.
Yes, now we get